Hey guys, on this video I'm talking about what to do with needy sleepers. Hey guys, on this video I'm talking about what to do with a needy sleeper. You know the child, the one that you get to sleep and you start to put down and then they're instantly wide awake. The one that hears a small noise and is wide awake. The one that wakes up crying and won't go back to sleep until you come in. What do you do with that? So today I'm going to show you or share with you some of my tips and tricks for dealing with the needy sleeper. So trick number one, if I'm dealing with a sleeper, this is typically, I'm going to see this around the 1 year mark, maybe a little bit older. This is typically when you try to get them to sleep on their own or go to sleep on their own, maybe in that cute little baby stage. You don't mind the snuggles, you don't mind the chance to sit down, maybe they were sleeping in a swing or something different and now they've outgrown that swing or whatever they were sleeping in. So now you're looking for a way to get them to sleep, and every time you get them just about asleep, they wake up because you're setting them down. So I have a trick where I have my hand against their face, like their cheek, as I'm laying them down, and that little bit of my skin on their skin helps them. Now once I've got them laying down, I just keep my hand there for a minute or so. It kind of depends on the child. I've had some kids where I keep my hand there for a good minute. I take my other hand once the child's down and I'll pat their bottom, pat their back, rub their back, just something to kind of get them back to sleep. I really like the heartbeat tap, boom, 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 against them. Real gentle, that's going to help them. That's going to help them kind of stay back in that sleepy rhythm that we really want to encourage them to continue. If I'm dealing with a needy baby, the baby that you can't put down, I'm looking for, why is that happening? Are they teething? Are they going through some type of reason that makes sleeping difficult? Teething is kind of the big one that you deal with. If they're teething, they're uncomfortable, so really you want to make them comfortable. And for a lot of people, this is when one of those times where they might sleep on you or next to you or with you. If that's not an option though, again, I'm going to do very similar style to laying with them until they go to sleep and just rolling away gently, rubbing their back, keeping my hand on their cheek. I'm really looking for ways to assure them as I'm moving away that even though I'm not right there, I'm still close. Now I'm going to bump us up a little bit to more toddler, 18 months, 2 years old. So if I have a toddler who just will not go to sleep unless they're being held or rocked or, whatever, I start with sitting next to them or laying next to them, depending on what the bed situation looks like. If they're still in the crib, I'll sit next to the crib. If they're in a toddler bed, I'll try to lay on the floor next to them. It just kind of depends on what your sleep space looks like. If they are still sleeping in the bed with the parents and they're used to having the parent lay down next to them, we'll lay down next to them. What we're looking for is to get them to fall asleep. If they're old enough, I'll start saying things to them like, you're going to sleep and I'm going to the living room, to this area. I'm going, what are you going to do? I tell Sophie a lot that once she goes to sleep, I'm going to come out and come to the living room and help mommies. And that's what I tell her when we're making these videos, that I'm helping mommies, I'm helping families, so that she just kind of understands what's going on, where I'm going to be, so that if for whatever reason she does wake up, she understands I'm not gone, I'm just doing something different. So what we're looking for with toddlers, we want to establish with them that we're going to be nearby, even if we're not physically right there. So this is a great time to start establishing, I'm doing this, then you do that, or you sleep here and I'll see you in the morning. And I don't have an issue with helping children fall asleep, as far as rubbing their back or holding their hand or talking with them for a few minutes. I actually feel that talking, especially with that toddler, even preschool group, talking with them about 5-10 minutes after you've settled them in bed, just about their day, and just kind of giving them that chance to decompress, actually helps them fall asleep a lot easier, because they're able to kind of talk with you and spend just a few minutes with you, which is something that they're really looking for. A lot of the quote unquote needy sleepers, they're really just looking for that little bit of connection with a parent, and we can spend a few minutes at night talking with them. That's going to be a huge impact to helping them sleep better and be sleep more independently. So the other thing that I feel is important to say is that independence is natural. They do gain independence, okay? So when we're dealing with this needy sleeper, it's really easy to get stuck in this mindset that this is the way it is. They're never going to sleep on their own. They're never going to get there. Independence is something that's naturally a gradual process. For me, it's very similar to a baby learns to roll over. We don't need to teach the baby to roll over. We can do things to encourage them to roll over. We can do things to encourage them to sit up. We can start strengthening muscles and things like that. But at the end of the day, they're going to be the ones to roll over or sit or even stand and walk. And so I think with certain things like sleep as well, I think it's important for us to understand that that too is something that's a learned habit. And so how you teach that habit is going to be more impactful. So if it's taught in a calm and loving way that is bringing security, they're going to be secure as they're sleeping. But if we're doing this, really non-informative, just kind of fend for yourself, figure it out method, that's not very helpful in the long run, and that can actually create more problems for you with your bedtime and your bedtime routine and with your sleep, with your kids and their sleep patterns, because now they're confused why they're in bed. They don't want to be in bed. They're overly stimulated because of, maybe they're crying or they're screaming. They're trying to get your attention and you're just out. So I think it's important to be aware of what you're teaching, what habits you're teaching, and what parameters you're teaching. This is something that we can have a tendency, especially with bedtimes and especially at night, have this tendency to just, we ourselves are tired at the end of the day, so our patience is a little thinner, and so it's really easy in those bedtime moments to kind of shut down or just get angrier, get more frustrated, get easily overwhelmed and annoyed ourselves as parents and care providers, to just kind of say goodnight, goodbye. So I think it's important to recognize that you as the parent, as the adult, have the potential to, you as the adult are more responsible for your emotions and how you're handling yourself. So if you need to step back for a second, go ahead, step back for a second, but understand that, not initiating a calming, loving, supportive situation is not going to be very helpful for your needy sleeper, and in fact can create an even more needy sleeper, somebody who needs more because they're not getting what they're needing, so they're overcompensating in some way.